The media meltdown over Donald Trump being given a platform on CNN Live Wednesday night for a town hall event continues. An event that they cut short by 20 minutes, by the way, after only 9 audience questions because, well, it wasn't going exactly as they had planned. Tell us, Mr. No Name MSNBC morning host, what did you like best about it?
A rally, and it was which he called the moderator nasty. The crowd laughed and cheered. He called E. Jean Carroll, who we spoke to yesterday, called her a whack job. The crowd laughed and cheered. And it again shows how he has just reshaped the Republican Party in his image, the complete dominance of the party. And he was given this opportunity last night to talk to them and show again that he's in charge.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says that CNN should be ashamed of themselves and noted that the audience is cheering him on and laughing at the host. Excuse me, MSNBC, would you like to tell everybody who didn't tune in what they missed?
When Donald Trump said he would pardon the people who stormed the Capitol on January 6th, the crowd applauded.
Will you pardon the January 6th rioters who were convicted of federal offenses?
Protesters.
I am inclined to pardon many of them. I would say it will be a large portion of them. You know, they did and it'll be very early on.
When Trump called the moderator of that town hall a journalist standing right next to him.
No, he didn't call her a journalist. Stop lying.
When he called her a nasty person, the crowd cheered and then they laughed. Donald Trump fed off that crowd of Republican voters and the crowd fed off of him. And there was nothing that anyone could do about it.
Problem was, in that format, it was a rally. It wasn't a town hall. It was full of Trump supporters. They laughed at every insult he threw out there, and he fed off that, as he does, turned to the audience as an ally against her.
Oh, by the way, after this video is done, you got to go to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and order my new Wanted for President shirt. Anderson Cooper is engaging in damage control, hoping to prevent what little audience the network has from flipping over to MSNBC.
Good evening. Before we begin with tonight's broadcast, I want to say something about what we witnessed at last night's town hall.
The best thing that CNN has aired probably ever.
Many of you have expressed deep anger and disappointment. Many of you are upset that someone who attempted to destroy our democracy was invited to sit on a stage in front of a crowd of Republican voters to answer questions.
I'm sorry, but it's your network that's trying to destroy our democracy, and we're not even a democracy. We're a constitutional republic, by the way. But, of course, your viewers wouldn't know the difference.
And I get it. It was disturbing.
It was awesome.
It was disturbing to see and hear that person refer to a black law enforcement officer.
That person? You mean President Trump. Oliver Darcy, who was Little Brian Stelter's protege before he unfortunately got fired from the network, says that 24 hours after CNN's town hall, it's all anyone is talking about. Throughout the day, we heard from dozens of network staffers, ranging in seniority and positions across the organization, who all expressed dismay at what they saw transpire on their TV screens. Hardest hit, however, is Joe Scarborough, who hosts a morning show over on MSHIV.
What we saw was last night, this virus of lies that's been loosened on the American people.
Wait for it.
And an audience, an American audience, lapping it up. This isn't Putin's Russia. This is Trump's slice of America.
Half of it,
and
half the country.
What I saw last night, at least, was as chilling as anything I've seen on television since January the 6th.
Yeah, we're looking at...
Before selling her soul to CNN, Caitlin Collins used to work for the Daily Caller, which used to be a good website. It was co-founded by Tucker Carlson, but he sold his interest in it years ago. And I haven't paid any attention to them for a while now because it appears that they turned into basically BuzzFeed, just posting a bunch of celebrity gossip and clickbait. But here's Caitlin Collins appearing on Fox News back in 2015 when she worked for the Daily Caller, again, when it actually was a great website.
What's George Soros trying to do with the immigration crisis?
Good morning. Okay, so George Soros is this foreign-born left-wing guy who essentially wants to change the nature of our country. And in this data dump, one of the memos was about the refugee crisis. And they made 3 points. They think that they've been successful at influencing immigration policy across the world. They think that the refugee crisis is an opportunity to continue doing so. And they think the refugee crisis is the new normal. And George Soros is this guy who is a staunch advocate for open borders. He wants people to be able to go wherever they want, whenever they want, for whatever reason. And for him, he sees this immigration policy, this
the New World
crisis,
Order,
as a vehicle to further his immigration agenda and his open borders policy.
So to further the Cloward Pittman strategy to financially collapse America and flood it with a bunch of people who don't know and don't care anything about our culture, customs, or even our language. So that was Caitlyn then, and this is Caitlyn now. Just look at that scowl. So she obviously sold her soul, and I couldn't find the clip. I didn't save it. I showed it years ago, but she has admitted to basically being a sociopath and says that she doesn't have any emotions. I did save this one, however, showing her in the White House press briefing room violating the mandatory mask mandates, just performing for the cameras. As soon as the press conference was over and the White House staff left, this is during the Trump administration, she then took off her mask because, well, she thought the camera stopped rolling. There are a few more zingers from President Trump that I didn't include in yesterday's video that you have to see, like this one when he, well, literally pulled out some receipts.
Why did it take you 3 hours to tell them to go home?
I don't believe it did. Oh, let me pull it out. I have to pull it out. So if you look at, on January 5th, the day before, I said, please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful. Stay peaceful. This was the day before, and this was in the form of Twitter. Now I use Truth Social. I think it's far superior, okay? I hope everybody's on Truth. If you look January 6th, just at before 2:30, I am asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. This is right after, as it was happening. But what happened is they took it down. I don't know why. I think they took it down because it was so good. They didn't like it being up there.
Of course, that's a joke. They took it down along with this video that he posted later so that they could continue to lie to the American people and the rest of the world, claiming that Donald Trump was inciting it when, quite clearly, repeatedly, he was trying to make sure that everybody behaved themselves. And then there was this crowd pleaser.
But when you said you are considering pardoning a large portion of those charged with crimes on January 6th, does that include the 4 Proud Boys members who were charged and convicted of seditious conspiracy?
I don't know. I'd have to look at their case, but I will say in Washington, D.C., you cannot get a fair trial. You cannot. Just like in New York City, you can't get a fair trial either.
And speaking of that whack job, E. Jean Carroll, that's obviously who he's talking about. I saw this purported screenshot going around social media, allegedly from a Facebook post that she's said to have made back in 2012. And when I was starting to look into this, because I wanted to make sure, I always have to verify everything because you just can't tell these days. And I have not verified this, but when I was looking into this, where she purportedly claimed, too many good TV shows on Sunday night, my God, what do you watch? And then she allegedly replied that she is a massive Apprentice fan. But if I would have spent another 2 minutes, I'm sure I would have found that post, and I'd give it a 99% chance that it is real, because this is real. This is a CNN article talking about the trial where they buried the lead, of course, but they did admit she also agreed that she was a fan of The Apprentice, starring Trump, and enjoyed watching the competition between aspiring business people. So he supposedly attacked her, the worst thing that could happen to somebody, but she enjoyed watching his show. She was a fan still. And then it goes on to say that Donald Trump's attorney showed her a post on her Facebook page from 2012 in which Carol wrote, quote, "Would you have sex with Donald Trump for $17,000? Even if you could A, give the money to charity, B, close your eyes, and he's not allowed to speak?" The attorney said, "You joked around about having sex with Donald Trump for money on this Facebook post, correct?" And she responded, "Yes." This is the article where that quote comes from. They buried the lead. That should be the headline. Whack job, accusing Donald Trump of attacking her. Fantasized on Facebook about doing it with him. But now it looks like Donald Trump might get sued by her again for defaming her again by calling her a whack job and denying her hallucination, her delusion during the town hall event. This was the last straw for CNN, and the moment they decided to pull the town hall from the air, 20 minutes or 21 minutes early.
Or race. If you are the Republican nominee and you are in that 2024 race, will you commit tonight to accepting the results of the 2024 election?
Yeah, if I think it's an honest election, absolutely, I would.
Will you commit to accepting the results of the election regardless of the outcome?
You want me to answer it again? If I think it's an honest election, I would be honored to. And right now, we are so far ahead of both Democrat and Republican. And you know what? If I don't win, this country is going to be in big trouble. It's so sad to see what's happening.
But no commitment there on the accepting the results regardless of the outcome.
If it's an honest election, correct, I will.
Okay, so not committing to accepting the 2024 election results or acknowledging what happened in 2020. President Trump, I want to thank you for
coming, she says. The producers were obviously speaking in her ear to shut it down. And what do you think of my new Wanted for President shirt, which you should order from markdice.com or click the link in the description below. Since they didn't take a mugshot because they knew that people like me would put it on a shirt, I decided to make one up anyway. And it's like one of those old-fashioned wanted posters in a Western, so it has that cool distressed look. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check them out.